And we are live. Hi, Ieva.
Oh, so good.
So, welcome to You've Got Mel. It took a while to bring you on the show.
Yes, thank you so much for your patience. I'm very happy that we managed.
Ieva Strupule from Latvia.
Yes.
And you're the only Ieva Strupule in the world.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's a fun fact because essentially my last name belongs only to my family and my relatives in Latvia. So there's really nobody else that's ever lived on this planet with my name. So no pressure, right?
How come you're not named after a grandmother or a great grandmother or somebody?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think the line of thought that my mom had when she had me was that I was born on the Chinese year of the snake, and I'm a Virgo. So she was like, "That's Yeva," because my name means Eve, like as in Eve and Adam from the Bible.
Ah, I thought it meant egg, and I was wondering what your mother was thinking. Because in Chinese and in a Jewish tradition, the egg is very, it's very meaningful to us.
Okay.
But you don't go and name your children eggs.
No, no. It's
So
not.
I never wanted to ask you, but I'm relieved that you're named that Yeva is Eve.
Not egg. It's definitely not egg.
And
It's
and
literally
and
Latvian.
Strupule is so that people cannot pronounce your name.
Yes, you got it. You got it.
So
You got
listen,
it
we're
right.
gonna we're gonna we're gonna start with the jingle. And
Absolutely.
connect your and can you just write your full name here? Because it just says Yeva, and people are going to want to contact you. I know that people are going to want to contact you after our show.
Okay, let me do that.
Are you ready for the jingle?
Always born ready.
Okay. Am I ready for the jingle?
Get a chair, grab a seat, or we'll sweep you off your feet. We move, we groove, you got Mel. Ease your legs, rest a while, all you gotta do is smile. We're swell, can't you tell, you got Mel. When the show begins, you better hold on real tight, or before you know it, you'll be high as a kite. Take a break, settle down, we're the only show in town. SRO, don't you know, you got Mel. Give it up, don't think twice, we're a hurricane on ice. What the hell, give a yell, ring your bell, show and tell. Mademoiselle, give a smell, you got Mel.
You've got Mel. And
Beautiful.
Mel has Yeva.
Beautiful. I love your jingle. I love it. It's so good.
I love you for loving my jingle.
I do have one very serious question though, before we move any forward. Mademoiselle, give a smell. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that have to do anything with your breath?
Yeva, I'm going to disappoint you because you've got Mel means that you've got Mel.
Yes.
So you're my guest. I don't answer the questions. I ask the questions today.
I was just purely curious.
If you want to interview me on your video cast, I don't know. I wrote it 10 years ago.
Okay.
And
okay.
You're the first person who's I'm waiting for people to comment on that, Over 100 guests, and you're the only one who actually listened to the words. Mademoiselle, give a smell. You've got Mel.
Either way, beautiful jingle, and we can discuss the specifics.
We can discuss the specifics off camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's several incredible things about you. You're Latvian.
Indeed.
I met you through Yossi Vardi, the one and only.
Yes.
At Kinernet. And you had then a tourism startup.
Yes.
And then you had a financial startup in London.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have a renewal and recycling startup in Oslo. And I've missed a lot of things. So start at the beginning. Who is Yeva?
Who is Yeva? At the beginning. Well, Yeva is a Latvian born and bred girl. I was born and raised in the beautiful, beautiful beach resort city in Latvia. which is FYI one of the greenest countries on earth. Very tiny, very small. I was essentially born still what used to be the USSR, I guess. And my bringing up, or my childhood, which was the 90s essentially, and the early 2000s, was spent in a brand new country, because we regained our independence from Russia only in 1990. So that was a fun experience growing up. I was lucky, extremely lucky, to be born in the most amazing family, to the best parents on earth. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi.
So my dad is an entrepreneur and a pharmacist. So he was actually running a chain of pharmacies back
One
in
second, an entrepreneur and a pharmacist is very interesting these days.
Yeah. So okay, so he's pharmacist by education, right? But essentially he was running a chain of privately owned pharmacies in the country, like back in the 90s and early 2000s, before the large Scandinavian chains came in and took him out of business, essentially. Right now he's also working with the pharmaceuticals, more in the health supplement line. So he's also running his own business, but it's slightly different than it was before. And my mother is a PhD in art history. So from her, I learned the appreciation of art and history and buildings. Essentially what she does is she investigates very, very old buildings and, the paintings on the walls and on the ceilings, and then documents it in books. She's written like 5, I think. So yeah, so that's my parents. I have also a lot of artists on both sides of the family from my parents. So very many creatives surrounding me as I grew up. And then I have 2 amazing younger sisters who have also lived in other countries. Currently, one of them is based in Germany. The other one is based in Latvia, again, for the time being. Yeah, so I was a happy kid growing up in a beach town. What's not to love? In the summer, we spent our days on the beach, like swimming until our lips were in the all shades of blue, I guess. And we enjoyed, playing together, climbing trees as kids did back in the day when there was no internet. Fighting each other, obviously, like little boys. A lot of people actually commented on that back in the day. So yeah, so that was the early childhood. Absolutely beautiful.
So you were a tomboy growing up?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, big time. I was climbing trees like there's like no tomorrow. And I enjoyed like actually fighting with my younger sisters. Yeah, I was a massive tomboy, and I was always outdoors. Like it was impossible to, get me indoors, which is something that has changed so much, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like we had no computers, we had no iPads, like no smartphones. So we just spent our days, outdoors, whether it was the winter when we would go like sledding down the hill because there was always a lot of snow, or in the summer, like swimming and just like having the times of our lives, just playing as children should do in the
So
outdoors.
you had toboggans like the Canadians?
Was that?
You had toboggans, these sleds? I don't
Yeah.
know what you call them in Latvian.
Yeah, I mean, it gets very cold in Latvia. It gets to minus 30 Celsius. So of course, like there's a lot of snow now.
That's why you have so few Latvians in the world.
That and the 2 wars in the Siberia, but yeah.
Before we get on to your high-tech career, so your parents grew up in an era where I guess they studied Russian in school.
Yeah, they studied Russian in school.
So I can speak to your parents in Russian. They will.
Yes.
Okay.
easily. I understand. I can also speak Russian. I mean, I understand. I'm not perfect in Russian, but I just like, I don't know. I'm somehow good with languages.
But if you speak Russian today in Riga, are
Mm.
people going to answer you in Russian or say, "Oh, what the hell is that guy doing speaking Russian in our country, in our free country? Go
Yeah.
back to Russia, you son of a bitch."
Well, it's still a little bit of a touchy-feely subject. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. There are some extreme nationalists who are like, very against everything, but the majority of people are okay. They're cool with it. Nobody will like blatantly tell to your face like, how dare you, right? Because and I think that makes sense because what was done, like the occupation and the wars and what was done to my tiny little country essentially, is not the responsibility of any tourist that comes to the country or anyone who lives in the Russian territory today. Like it's just, it's ridiculous to have some sort of a hold some sort of a grudge over what happened in the past, right? So I think that we should
Why?
like
Because Jews do it. We have wonderful grudges. We don't want to lose our grudges.
well, I guess I would say it's a personal choice. It's a personal choice, right? But it's true that I don't know, half of our country was killed during two wars, and then shipping people off for no reason to die in the woods in Siberia. I know, like you, 100% understand what I'm talking about here, but I've never like kept that as a part of my being to like be angry at somebody or it's terrible what happened, but what can we do about it today? Like being angry at somebody is not going to change what happened, right?
Absolutely.
And in my understanding, every single language is a fortune. It's an absolute fortune, and we should value every single language that we can speak.
I'm with you, dear. So can you? Latvian is a strange language.
Very strange.
Can you say something for our viewers in Latvian?
Ko jūs vēlaties?
Something nice, don't, you know. I know you. You're nice. Say something nice.
It's a beautiful language, and it's only anyhow similar to Lithuanian, nothing else in the world, okay? Um, es varu pateikt kādas skaistas lietas latviski. Es nezinu, ko jūs visi vēlaties dzirdēt, bet Latvija ir ārkārtīgi skaista zeme, un jums visiem noteikti kādu dienu novēlu aizbraukt uz Latviju un apskatīties, cik tur dzīvo burvīgi cilvēki un cik tā ir fantastiska vieta.
That's right. And Peter Apse, my friend who lives in Riga, if you're listening, hi.
Hi, Peters.
Hi, Peter. That's very nice. I agree with every word you said. And now, so two questions. How did you become a high-techy person? And how come your English is so wonderful?
Thank you for the compliments. Thank you. I've been thinking about this is like a rhetorical question that I've been asking myself over the course of the years. Ever since I moved away from my country for the first time when I was 18, essentially, so basically 2 years ago, right? I think that's what has motivated me to pursue whatever like different careers I've had thus far is just like the amazing curiosity of life that I have. I was born and raised in this like kind of post-USSR situation where people tell you to stick to one job with everything you have. Like, God forbid you're gonna lose it,
Yes, and finish your potatoes.
Yeah, and that too. Don't get up from the table before you do. It's true. But I don't know. I just always had this kind of amazing curiosity of the world and also of the world of not just tech, but like a lot of jobs and a lot of opportunities that are out there. Because I realized early enough that I have no idea who I want to be when I grow up. Like, I don't know. I wanted to be an astronomer when I was a little kid because I just enjoyed looking in the stars, and I was like kind of introvert and bullied heavily at school, actually.
You were an introvert and bullied at school?
Yes, nobody believes me when I say that. It's absolutely true.
I believe you. I mean, I believe that that's what you think happened.
No, that's actually what happened. Like there's people who know it's actually true.
You were an introvert.
Yes. And I consistently kept breaking my barriers and breaking myself into becoming more extroverted because I wanted to explore the world. I wanted to explore the different opportunities I have in life. And a big motivation to that, I guess, was the inability to do those things to my parents' generation and the generations before that who had to live behind the Iron Curtain. Like they were not allowed to travel during the USSR. There was absolutely no question about like moving somewhere to study or to, work or whatever. So like hearing all those stories, and I'm a big patriot. This is Latvia, by the way. It's right here. I'm a big patriot and I'm a big family person. And I think like hearing
But you left when you were 18.
yeah, I did. I went to study in Barcelona, not knowing a single person there. Like I spoke some Spanish. I was taught that at school, and Mandarin Chinese, which never happened.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. And so I moved to Barcelona to do a business degree because I couldn't figure out which way I want to go, but I knew that there's something inside of me that wants to be an entrepreneur. Like I knew that very early on, like I guess seeing my dad like run his business. And so I moved to Barcelona. To your question about the language, I have no idea. I have no idea where that came from. I've sounded the same way, like somewhat American, I guess, like ever since I can remember. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the ears, because at music school, where I spent 10 years of my life actually as well, I was told that I have the perfect pitch. So maybe that's
You have perfect pitch.
yeah. I don't know. They told me I do.
If I play a note on the piano, you can tell me what it is?
I don't know. I haven't tried. Like, don't do it now. Please don't. I don't want to fail, but I could do it when I was a kid.
Okay, we'll try sometime.
When I was in school, yeah. So, yeah, I played flute and
How
piano.
was it? Yeah. So this is something that is very. I find over and over again with the Baltic countries is that you have this huge tradition of music and singing,
Absolutely.
which is incredible.
Yeah, it's like every single Latvian has at least spent a year singing in a choir.
In Latvia, if you don't sing, you go to jail, right?
Almost, yeah. But music was like a very big deal. And, it's not like I don't know, in the US, you say, oh, I had some lessons for piano. We were like, you're 6 years old, you're taken to the music school, and that's like one or two or more instruments, solfeggio, music literature, music history, harmony, orchestra, choir. It's like a whole it's basically another full-time school with exams, with home assignments. It's not just like, ooh, I'm gonna try a little piano, it was serious. It was serious stuff, and their aim is to build the new geniuses, like the new famous pianists, and so yeah, I went through that. But the curiosity for tech came, I guess, later in my life when I was actually done with my studies and I started working. And I started working, first of all, I worked a little bit for a Forex broker. And
you worked for a company once?
Once upon a time, I did, I did, yes. And I quickly realized that's something I really don't want to do. And that's why I say, like, also to the youngsters or the students that I mentor, I tell them to try different things, because if you don't try, you're never gonna know, you're never gonna learn, right? And real life only starts where your comfort zone ends. That's something I've really lived by, and I understood that early enough in my corporate career, if you want. So I used to work for a due diligence company in IT, and I think I was 21, 22, so basically last year. And I was doing really well there. I had a PA at that age, you know, and I was just like breaking records month by month. But I quickly realized that I don't want to be there. I don't want to keep like for me, if I don't learn something new constantly, then I just get bored and I'm out of it, you know, and I can't keep sticking to this like USSR principle of holding to one job with your dear life. I'm the complete opposite, and I just couldn't help it. I was like, another day after another promotion, I was like, okay, guys, this is my resignation letter. I'm out. You know, if I wanted to stay there, I would probably be a board member in a couple of years, like at a still very young age.
You would be a board member and a very bored member.
Genius. Thank you, Mel. Absolutely. So I just realized that that's not something I want to do. And I packed my bag and I moved to Germany. Why? I don't know. Because I wanted out of the company and out of the country at the same time. Because, you know, as much as I love Latvia, it's such a small country. It's like 1.7 million people. And like my ambition was like,
don't the Latvians hate the Germans?
no, why?
Okay.
No,
I don't know. Second World War and stuff.
We're lovely people. We don't hate anybody. So I moved to Germany because my little sister was there at the time, and she had just.
Okay, you see, there is a reason.
There was yeah, because like, I mean, for myself in terms of career, I couldn't figure out like where to go or what to do. I just had to find myself somehow. And at that point, what made sense was to move to Germany to be with my little sister, because she was quite recently there and she broke up with her first big love, high school sweetheart. And I just wanted to be there for my little kid, right? And while I was there, I was actually super randomly approached by these crazy 3 Italian guys who wanted to build the Airbnb for boats in Venice, Italy, in H Farm, which is where we met.
Yes.
Yes, so that's a long story short, right? So
that was the tourism side.
yes, that was the Airbnb for boats. So
yeah,
what we were doing was connecting private boat owners and travelers around the world who want to have like a real onboard experience with a skipper that is actually, you know, the owner of the boat versus just renting something random from an agency. So we just made that platform and we were building it out of, so again, I packed my bag and just one day moved to start a company with random guys that I've never met in my life. We just had a couple of like Skype conversations to a country
outside Venice in Italy.
Yes, Venice, Italy. I think my parents thought that I'm being sold for organ donors or something at that point. I had no idea what I'm doing, and I had no idea what a startup was in the first place, because I didn't have that experience. You know, I was just like, I had worked for a corporate before, so I didn't know what I'm doing. But I was like so curious, and I thought, you know, boats and sea and sun, and it's just beautiful, and it's gonna be a lovely experience. Like, can't wait. So I just moved and started this journey with them at H Farm, which is run by Maurizio Rossi.
Maurizio, ciao Maurizio.
Yeah. So thanks to Maurizio and thanks to Yossi Vardi, these two absolutely incredible people who co-organized one of the Kinnernet events at H Farm, where I was based with my very first startup. That is where we met. That is the beginning of everything, right? And essentially why we met was that Kinnernet wanted to rent out a boat. If you remember, there was this big party, right? Like the after party in the canal.
People are watching.
So this.
Oh, well, you brought it up. This was one of the most incredible events of my life.
Absolutely.
Where you get on this boat and you go through all these little
you said we saw the island,
canals,
and
then there's food and music,
Yeah.
and dancing and just a little bit of liquor.
Yeah, little tiny bit, tiny bit. And the most amazing, most importantly, the most amazing brain power and personalities from all over the world. Like I have to say, like I've never felt more in my place, like or like surrounded by like-minded people, or I've never felt more like home outside of home than I do at every single kindernet. It's incredible. It's like really incredible. And I can only thank the universe for making that happen for me, you know? It's like, if I wanted to give you a funny children's books reference, you know, the series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. It's an American author, and it's also a movie with Jude Law and Neil Patrick Harris and others. So I thought, like, if I had to think of a name for my own children's book about me, it would be Ieva Strupule, a series of incredibly fortunate events. I would rename it, because why unfortunate, right?
But
So,
you know, okay, but yeah, but you know, I talk with my students a lot about the fortune and luck, but essentially, you're a luck chaser. And when we arrived with all our suitcases and our shit, you were there with your little car to drive us back and forth. Um, I think you had to take out the seat
100.
to get us in. It was a tiny car.
It was the tiniest Fiat.
I got in. You say, Mel, don't breathe for 5 minutes. There's not enough room for you to breathe in and out. So you know, you came across as the most generous, and you are an incredibly generous human being. Uh, what happened with the boat business? Did it float or sink?
That's an interesting question, and it's a little bit of a complicated answer. So,
Yeah,
we
yes,
actually,
it's just yes or no. You know, we floated or we sank.
I would say neither, because we were acquired by the largest yacht agency in Europe.
Okay.
So maybe it's still somewhat alive. It's different people, obviously, who
Oh,
run.
but so there was an acquisition.
Yeah, there was. So first of all, we raised some capital. Obviously, we grew the platform in Italy. At some point, we were even named like among the like top 3 or top 5. I don't remember. Like, but the fastest growing startups in Italy. And then we moved everything to London, as a matter of fact. Yeah, and then somewhere down the line.
So can I call this your first exit?
Sure.
Did you
can,
make some money?
of course.
You made money from the boats.
I'm not going to go into detail. I didn't make money. I'm a very minor shareholder of this large yacht agency right
You
now.
made a little bit of money.
Okay.
No, Eva, because for some stupid reason,
Mm,
it's not me, it's other people.
mm.
They think that the success of a business is making money. I keep challenging them. I keep telling them the success of a business is losing money. But you made money on the boats, and only 1% or less than people, that's not very good English. It was good Latvian. Less than 1% of entrepreneurs make money in startups, and you did. So that's incredible. And then you were in
I
London.
guess. And then I was in London. Yes. Then
And
I
you
was
said,
in
I'm in the
London.
financial center of Europe. Who needs boats? Who needs boats? And then what did you do?
Yeah. Well, then I was actually approached to join a fintech startup as the chief marketing officer, which I did. However, that I have to say that was a decision that I maybe should have thought a little bit more through. But you know, as I like to say, there's no such thing as failure. You either win or you learn. Right?
I thought you were going to say there's no such thing as failure. You either win or you lose.
No.
No, listen, I'm a big fan of losing.
But losing,
I teach my students to lose.
losing teaches you so much about yourself, about life, about business, about the world, about everything,
Yeah,
about everything, right? So
yeah.
who and you know, another saying I love is who doesn't risk never gets to drink champagne. And I love champagne. So, you know, joined the fintech. It went different from what I was expected, to be honest. But long story short, spent 2 years with that startup before I left. And then I don't know, I just like came to this place in life
One
where I
second. So we need to close this. We need some closure.
closure.
So
Okay.
did they have the exit or did you just have the exit?
No, it was me who did the exit from the company. It was
Okay.
left the company.
And okay, so now you've done fintech for 2 years. It's time to do something else. Every
Exactly.
time I phone you, you're in a different field.
You've known me for too long, Mel, I guess.
Only 2 years, Yeva.
But listen, who's speaking? You're a microbiologist.
Hey,
And
this is not about me. It's not about me.
okay. I refrain. But yes, that's what I'm saying. But how else are you supposed to learn what you like or love in life if you don't try? Like you have to put yourself out there and you have to try. And if you fail, fine, like get up, go do something else. Like it was clearly not for you. But the only thing that I would ever in my life like feel bad about, or that, you know, really consider a mistake, is really not pushing myself over the boundaries of my comfort zone and trying new things. Like that's what I would eventually on my dying bed or whatever, like too early to think about that, but still I do think about those things, you know. I think that I have to put myself out there and I have to try. And if not now, then when? How long am I going to be unhappy?
If not now, then when is a Jewish thing, dear?
Well, I take pride in some people from Kindernet community saying that I can count myself as an adopted Israeli.
In my books, you are. In my books, you are.
Thank you. I take it with the utmost pride and joy.
If all Latvians are like you, dear,
You're
if
so
all the world were like you, it would be incredible.
you're so sweet, Mel. You really are. You're an inspiration, and all I can do is my best, right? And that's
Okay,
all.
but what brings you now into recycling decaying buildings? What are you doing these days?
So I will just quickly recap what happened after the fintech, right? So I took some time for myself. I was not in a rush to jump into anything new, thankfully. I built an NGO. I was in the co-founding team of the Global Shapers Latvia as a part of the World Economic Forum.
Mm-hmm.
As a part of that movement, I co-founded what we called the Career Cafe. So it was a mentorship NGO for teens, for high schoolers who don't know what to do with their lives, who are confused, and they're at the moment of like making what they think is the major decision of the life. Like, who am I going to be? What am I going to do? So what we did was like this series of events where we tried to help them understand, like through psychology tests, through kind of like panel discussions with many different people who have gone through many different paths of life until they figured out what they want, right? So we kind of wanted to give them the sense that you don't have to know who you are when you're 16, 17, like, and you can change your idea about who you are and what you want to do like so many times through life. And don't feel the pressure from the society, because unfortunately it still exists in Latvia. It's like, figure out now, like, you know, like you're 16, 17 years old and you're supposed to know everything. And that's something that has to change, right? So we try to change it, and we had like really good response to the program that we did for the kids. You know, we really tried and helped actually to change some young people's lives for, I think for the better. So while I was at it, I was actually approached by a Kindernet friend, Mustansir from Pakistan. If maybe you've met him, I'm not sure, in one of the Kindernets. And he told me that he's joining this Antler program, and he knew that I was not like essentially building anything new, as in building a new company. I was doing my NGO thing, and that was it. And he said, maybe you're interested, maybe you would like to try, like join this Antler program. And Antler is essentially what I would call Tinder for co-founders. So what they do is, yeah, exactly. But in real life, right? So Antler, I think they exist in 13 countries right now. In the startup world, they're very well known. So they bring together, they scan through thousands of profiles in the first place and do this like 4 or 5 interview thing where you have to be the best of the best in their opinion. And then they bring together up to 100 entrepreneurial spirits, 50% technical, so like engineers and computer scientists, and 50% business, marketing, sales, all that, like myself, right? And then they brought us together a year ago here in Oslo. That's why I'm currently happily calling you in from Oslo, Norway, because they took me here, this program, and that's where I met my future co-founder. And together with him, we started looking at many different ideas, many different things that we could do. And since one of the verticals of this Antler program was real estate and construction tech and prop tech, we started looking at how can we add to making construction more circular, more green, and more sustainable. And the more I started researching, the more I realized what a huge, insane problem this is that nobody really speaks about, and that construction as an industry hasn't really changed in the last 50 to 100 years. It's incredible how much everything is happening like in a very manual way, and how much pollution it creates. Like it's 40% of land.
But Ieva, in one sentence, what is your elevator pitch? We take broken buildings.
Yeah, we take information, we have forecasts for the next 5 years in the future of what materials, when, where, and in what quantities will become available from demolished buildings. So from projects that will be taken down.
Yeah, but demolished buildings, what can you do with them? There's broken concrete, broken cement, broken glass. It's not worth very much money.
It's not worth very much money.
I mean, I'm missing something here, dear. I never understand the really successful ones.
Okay.
Explain it to me.
First of all, that's why not seeing value in the materials is first of all why nobody's done what we're doing, right? However, right now, at least in Europe, there is a new regulation. Everything is moving towards circularity industry to industry. And since last year, EU requires that 70% of all construction materials would be repurposed. So yes. On top of that, Norway, and in particular Oslo, has said that instead of EU, who has said that they want to be emission-free by 2050, Norway wants to be by 2030. So I feel that we're in the right time and in the right place to become a driving force of supplying this information to all the stakeholders, whether they're municipalities that have to think about green cities, sustainable cities, whether they're architects or demolishers or recyclers. Like they have never had access to this information before. And they need it now because they need to comply with the new rules, with the new regulations. So we are kind of like the database that gives the overview of what's going on, what's happening in a municipality. Like if you're building a new building in 2 years.
Eva, in one sentence, how are you going to make money? Not that I am making any money with my startup. But people ask me this question, so I'm asking you. How are you going to make money?
How are we going to make money? Well, easy. Data is everything. We own data.
Okay.
We have
access. I'm happy to hear that.
We have access to data nobody else has, you know, so we can connect the buying and the selling part. We can become a marketplace. We're starting with it. We're very new. We started a few months ago, literally. So We're
Is that a marketplace for people who want to
buying
sell,
all materials. Exactly.
to buy, to buy the broken glass and the broken concrete?
If you want, it doesn't have to be broken. It can
No,
be
I believe in you. I believe in you.
okay.
Before we sing a Beatles song,
Oh
um,
God.
I know you're musical, dear. Uh, so you are now you're my first digital nomad on the show. You,
Really?
yeah,
Oh
you're
wow.
living out of it. You're living out of a suitcase. You get
Pretty
bored,
much.
you pack, and you
Pretty much.
move.
Pretty much so. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, this is my country number 6, right? I think I
Yeah.
told you. And I mean, no, right now I'm very happy where I am. I mean, Norway is absolutely beautiful.
How about, but like as somebody who feels like you're kind of an adopted daughter, what about getting married, settling down, having little Latvian children or semi-Latvian children?
Most probably semi-Latvian, I'll be honest. But that's definitely in the plans. I'm not one of those people who are like, yeah, no, never, like I'm all business and no family, no nothing. No, I'm the favorite auntie of 5 children of my cousins right now, and I miss them dearly, and we have such a great relationship. And
Yeah, so are you in a long-term relationship now?
oh God, you're getting so personal.
No,
No.
because people are going to watch the show and they're going to want to know because you're
Okay, Mel, there's no ring on the finger, okay?
exactly you're a spectacular woman.
Let's just put it out there. There's no ring on the finger.
Okay, so we just put it out there. You're a spectacular woman, now in Oslo, ready to relocate. Um, and listen, so now it's time to talk about the Beatles.
Okay. Okay.
What would you like to say about the best band there ever was?
Oh wow. I agree. I agree. It's an interesting band. It's an interesting band. I mean, I'm obviously not the. I guess I'm not the main target fan of the Beatles because I was literally long from being born when they were at their prime. But
That's okay. My grandchildren
yeah,
are now singing Beatles songs.
that's fabulous. That's fabulous. They've been taught well. What can I say? They've been
You
raised.
know, we've even created a religion
Mm,
at the Kinernet in Portugal,
what's it called?
the Marinados.
Marinados. Why?
It's a long story. I'll send you the ebook.
Okay. Okay.
Together with Don and others, we created a new religion, and it's a Beatles religion. And the Beatles are the like when you sing anywhere where you sing a Beatles song,
Mm-hmm.
that's the prayer.
Okay. Fabulous. I like that. Can I become a part of it?
Well, it's not everybody is a part of the religion. The great thing about the Marinados is that you are automatically a Marinados. Like when we established the religion, the
Mm.
elders decided that everybody will be a Marinados, even
Okay.
if you're not observant.
Okay.
It's like if you're born in Latvia, you're born in Latvia, right?
And you're automatically counted in as
Automatically, and you can't opt out.
okay. I'm not
And you can be other things. You know, you can be a Buddhist and a
Mm,
Baptist and a Jew,
okay.
and you're also Marinados.
Perfect.
So, you know, Beatles are timeless. What's your favorite song, dear?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. It would be very tough to pick one out as my favorite because there's a lot. I guess these days, like if we discuss or if we look at the what's happening in the world in the last year, yesterday is something that will resemble a lot of it, right? But I would say that yesterday was good, today's great, and tomorrow is going to be absolutely amazing. So I would not focus on that one. And if you want me to sing something, that being said, yesterday is amazing. Blackbird's amazing. A lot of them are amazing. But one song that I think is really cool to remember off during this time is, I think, a song that has never appeared in your show. And so,
A Beatles song?
yeah, and some people call it the most ridiculous.
Have you watched, like, we've had over 100 shows, Yeva?
I think I have at least the most part. I can't say that I've seen all of them,
Okay, you go straight to the ending to see which Beatles song.
but
So which is the most ridiculous song?
Obladi Oblada.
You're right. You're right.
You agree?
And you know, a bunch of scientists did a study with an algorithm, and their research results, they published this, was that Obladi Oblada is the Beatles' best song.
Seriously? Oh, there you go.
But this just shows, you know, the value of science in our world.
Yeah, I love it. And I also read that, you know, there is a lot of argument going between McCartney and Lennon. Like when he wrote the song, when McCartney wrote the song, and they had a lot of arguments around the song. And there was even a sound engineer who quit his job because of the situation and the toxic environment it created amongst the Beatles.
That was only one of the reasons, though.
Really? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
not gonna pretend like I know any better, because I really don't.
Okay. So you're gonna sing, and I'm gonna go like this. Desmond has it. Go ahead.
Okay. Desmond has a barrow in the marketplace. Molly is a singer in a band. Desmond says to Molly, "Girl, I like your face." And Molly says this as she takes him by the hand. Oh, bloody, life goes on, brah. La, 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 life goes on. Oh, bloody, life goes on, brah. La, 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 how life goes on.
Wow. Viva la Latvia.
Thank you dearly.
It was, yeah, it was wonderful having you on the show. And I'm going to connect you to somebody that I think from the TED community that I think that you should be in touch with.
I would love that.
I think he'll be a kindred spirit for you.
Absolutely.
So Yeva, thanks, dear. And please share this wonderful conversation until we can actually meet in person again.
I miss your face so much, and I can't wait to give you an actual hug. So I will
Likewise,
just
dear.
fingers and manifest to the universe that it happens sooner rather than later.
And me too.
Thank you, love.
Bye, dear. Thank you.
So much. Bye.